Welcome everyone to the November D20 live stream. Just a few quick announcements. I'm going to pull them up here because I'm horribly unprepared. There we go. So, we still have on our Patreon page right now the poll that's going on for all of our Patreon members to vote
Not
on
just
what
patrons, and anyone can
patrons.
vote on.
Not just patrons? Okay,
Yeah.
so anyone can vote on what notes they want to see released next from our large live shows. We're not talking about our streams, those we already give out, but we're talking about redone notes from major Con Bravo live streams.
And the One Magfest show.
And the One Magfest show, yes. Those are all options, so please go vote there if you like to see if you like to have the GM notes from your favorite live show. The Serac poster, for those who are not aware, is now up on our Teespring site. And a quick note from Sam, production manager, that the Nauticus, of course, everyone wants the Nauticus poster. They have to have it, and there are bordellos and rooms and up on the ceilings above their beds.
Oh, that's where I should put it.
Yeah, there you go. Right. That's going to be going down from our Teespring site at the end of this month, so be sure to get that. And the last thing is just more of a quick note, not an announcement. For those who already play D&D 5e, which is what we're running today, I have written about 17-18 pages of homebrew rules. That includes classes, races, and so forth. That's available to our patrons. So if a player has an ability, or we're doing initiative differently, that's intentional, right? So if something feels odd, like, wait a minute, firearms are not part of normal D&D. Yes, they are. We're in Azeroth. They have guns. So if you are interested in getting any of these rules, they're available through our Patreon program, and that's why you're gonna encounter something that might be a little weird.
They shouldn't be complaining too much about us using firearms. Critical Role uses them all the time.
It does, but that's not part of the main rules. That was something Mercer actually invented himself.
Yeah,
So,
but
yep.
the beauty of this
system.
Yep, is you can make modifications.
You can make all the time. I just want to save confusion.
All
right.
of the books are only suggestions.
Exactly. Yeah. Guidelines rather than rules. So let's get started. We're going to introduce our players, starting from Jordan on my right, all the way over to Dave.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I am back again to ruin yet another stream. I am Drajan, the Troll Hunter, otherwise known in my tribe as the Falcon.
The Falcon?
The Falcon.
Drajan, you said?
I'm not so full of myself as to be an eagle. I'm a smaller, no less dangerous bird.
It's going to be a good game.
Good.
Hey everyone, it's Mike, the guy who runs this and apparently pisses people off on YouTube now with his 5th ed tutorials. Today I am playing Garath, eats what he kills. I am a level 5 orc warrior who is also really strong. But for all intents and purposes, mechanically I am a fighter, because we didn't really make a big variant to the warrior archetype. It's just in case you're wondering what I am.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dom. I've been on a couple of streams so far. I am playing someone who used to be a human. In his life, he was known as Varn Winkerpilly until he died and was resurrected. And now he is known as Tim, the Undead.
So your full legal name is Tim the Undead?
Yeah.
Are there ellipses?
Is...
Like Tim dash
yeah.
the dash undead? Not
yeah.
ellipses.
No. He just has it, Tim.
I wrote Tim the Warlock there,
Yeah.
but I didn't actually say that I was an undead, Mike.
Yeah.
I am playing a Warlock, as adjusted by Devin. It's a really good Warlock for World of Warcraft.
Appreciate it. Yeah, Dave.
Hey everybody, I am Dave. I'm playing a Tauren druid called Jeth, short for Jethro Tull.
Oh, nice.
And
Oh shit! I crushed someone's sheet.
There are more important things right now. Dave is explaining his character.
So Jethro Tull, or Jeff, for
Jeff.
short, and you were the druid.
Just
So
Jeff.
we got druid, we got warlock, we have warrior, and we have and hunter.
I love it.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna be the best bad guys.
All right. So
We're not bad guys. We're just morally.
Of course we're not. What has Thrall ever done that was ever morally compromising?
So there was breakfast.
there was that breakfast that we had 2 days ago.
No, that was today.
Oh, it was earlier today. So you were on the continent.
Stop saying the Falcon at me. Sorry, David.
You are on the continent of Kalimdor. The world tree has been destroyed, but Arthas has been stopped to give people a picture of where we are in the time space. The third war has come to an end, and Thrall is starting the new horde. The Iron Horde, the new horde. The people who have shamanistic beliefs.
So we're in the. Are we like around Frozen Throne basically?
You know, you are right after what was that bloody expansion called?
For Warcraft 3?
Yeah, for Warcraft 3.
It's called the Frozen Throne.
The Frozen Throne, sorry, Frozen Throne. I thought, thinking Wrath of the Lich King. So, we're in between Frozen Throne and WoW.
Okay.
Smartass.
Why am I a smartass?
Thank you for actually stating correct information. It's good.
So we're playing vanilla WoW, is what you're saying.
Effectively vanilla WoW.
We're all gonna die. Vanilla WoW is so hard.
Effectively vasecta. God, this is starting off great.
Is that why
Okay.
you find the fire totem as a shaman?
That's also why I chose to not really do shamans for this one, because they were just in their infancy. Thrall was the first one. Thrall.
That's such a cop-out.
Thrall. It's an effective one and in canon. So I wrote 18 pages of rules. Go.
Can we go kill the Shadow Council before they become an annoying problem for the Horde?
Anyway, moving on. I am so sorry, patrons and viewers. However, 30 years prior to any of this, 4 orcs, having escaped a horrendous experience of baked sand, earth, pyramids, and slavery, step out of a portal. It was that bad. Step out of a portal and back into their home. These members of the Iron Horde, when they were first coming to Azeroth, look back at the archway, the stone archway, which blends well into the mountain wall. They don't know where they are. The surrounding lands don't look familiar to them. They look back at the archway and see nothing of the gossamer magical field that was once there that brought them home. They look into each other, glad for having returned home, eager to fight the humans again. And as the 4 of them leave, one lingers a little bit longer than the others and looks at the stone archway, placing his immense hand along the right side of the arch, pondering what more could be made of this strange phenomenon. And from there, we continue on. All of you are in southern Kalimdor, in the wonderful neutral city of Gadgetzan.
Oh god, no.
Isn't that a gnomish city?
No, it's not. No, that's Nomergon. Gadgetzan is a goblin city.
All straight up desert goblins.
Oh my god.
In the southern city of Gadgetzan.
Yeah.
You are to Gadgetzan is in its infancy and currently it's a burgeoning city, mainly focusing on transportation to get everyone from the old continent to the new continent, because this is where the Horde are now. And the goblins in and of themselves are making themselves known among the larger Horde. They're not part of the Horde yet, but they're on the fringes.
Because they're not good enough.
The 4 of you are known among the Horde. You're not heroes that every orc child that would know, but you fought in the Third War. All of you know each other, you recognize each other, and have since gone your separate ways across Kalimdor, only to be brought back at the request of your war chief, or not the war chief, but your war chief. There are many war chiefs. There is only one, and you are brought together. Sorry, Mike. You are brought together by the request of War Chief Uktel Foebinder. And he brings you to Gadgetzan. All of you were given specific instructions to meet at the Road Warrior Inn.
I love it, yes.
So, the Road Warrior...
It's the official game, Devin.
What's sorry?
I don't think it's in the official game.
Oh, actually it is in the official game, yes.
I barely played
Yeah,
one.
it is in the Road Warrior Inn. All of you arrive in Gadgetzan off of the very rickety gyrocopter, or in your sub-dirigible that the goblins are fairly certain that one in every 10 people will survive. You happen to be the one.
So good goblin odds.
Good goblin odds, yeah. And all of you arrive through various means to Gadgetzan and approach the Road Warrior. The Road Warrior itself has a sign which equates to
Just quick question: is abusing goblins looked down upon?
In
Again.
Gadgetzan, it's the Steam Weedle cartel will usually, they won't look down on it, they'll both laugh at you and then make certain you don't leave the city. Publicly they'll laugh at you because they want their goblins to be strong, but you know that no goblin should ever get hurt in Kajitsan.
I'll wait till we're out of the city.
Yeah, the Steamweedle Cartel is, again, much like Kajitsan in its infancy right now, but it's enough of a power that it's problematic if you harm other goblins.
Got it.
The Road Warrior Inn in and of itself is a large stone building made up of what little mortar they could import, along with the hard sands of the surrounding deserts of Teneris, and has a motorcycle wheel and its rim that's been bashed flat, hanging from a wrought iron chain that has in badly scrawled common road warrior with the D backwards and the R upside down and generally spelt incorrectly. You have what amounts to a bouncer outside the door, and he's looking up at you, all of 2'8" tall, and is like, "So, what business you got with the Great Lebowski, eh? Eh?
Are we all there, or is it just one at a time?
We'll have all of you be there just for sake of expediency.
We roll up as a crew.
We have a meeting to attend here.
Oh, you got a meeting, do you?
Yeah, we got a meeting.
Oh, all meetings have an entrance fee. You see, it's just how it works here. So we need a little bit of squeaky palms in the same way that you would squeak a good motorcycle.
I can use blood as a fuck. My voice cracked while I was trying to do that. Immersion kill.
You're right there, Garage.
Shut up.
Can I just pick him up by the top of his skull and just move him aside?
Hey! Look, you longhorns! I get out of my. He's trying to punch you and like.
I just
Lebowski,
move him
you hear
down
this?
gently and,
He places him
walk
down
past.
next to the other side of the door.
Yes.
And he he tries to get in the way, but you step in front of the door to get into the inn. And like, Lebowski, you hear this? Oh, I swear he wills.
I hope so.
He backs off a little bit, and the group of you enter into the inn.
Just can I be the last one? And I just look at him and I say, "You look delicious." I keep walking.
I second this.
Actually, a compliment or not?
What do you want?
And there are goblin wenches that are moving about with trays of way too tall stouts and mugs, hopping from table to table or moving in between the tables. It's actually a fairly busy place. And standing on a raised dais at the far end of the inn is someone that could only be the master in and of himself. He looks like he's got ridiculous blue overalls that are attached to the shoulders, all smacked with mud and grease and everything else, but very long goblin ears, and actually looks fairly muscular from all the repairs that he does.
For a goblin.
For a goblin, he does. Okay. Yes, yeah. And on top of that, you also know that it's probably the master because he's got paintings of himself all over the place in various poses. Yes.
How can I tell that? He is a goblin. They all look the same to me, like weaker, more inbred orcs. That's in my head, by the way.
That's in your head, by the way.
So you're not the face, is what you're saying.
Yep.
Fuck no.
Oh,
Well, I do have an 11 charisma, so I'm at least I'm very charming. What about you?
our production manager has just told us that Flinkaroo has followed the stream. Thank you, Flinkaroo, and hi, Niall. Actually, pretty sure I knew what that is.
Okay, cool.
Welcome
Alright.
to the Horde.
Yes.
Oh.
No,
Are we the Baddies?
Master Fitzgamble is looks you over. Hey, are you the ones who are supposed to be here for the meeting with the thing and the people?
I mean,
Yeah.
do we look like we belong here?
Everyone belongs here. This is where all the best people find a home. You see,
That's
you're gonna
very
understand
well
that. I have the finest women and the finest drinks and the finest food and the finest goblin finery ever to be found. Right.
Actually, who is the party face? We should figure that one out.
I got +2 charisma.
One.
0.
Great, it's the people eater.
Right, so you can just come in through the back here, and he calls for one of the goblin wenches to open the door, and as you move your way through the green mass, it's just all moving about. There's fighting going on. There's gambling going on. There's building of actual pieces of machinery that most of you can't actually identify, whether they function or not, or if they do function, what their purpose is. As you move into the back room, and the great Lebowski Fitzgamble levels you all.
Is he standing on a table while doing this?
He's standing on a stage and a dais, and the stage, dais, and table with him brings him eye level with about your shoulders.
You gotta really appreciate that attempt, though.
So
The point is that he tried and still failed,
That's the
but he
point.
tried.
God bless him for trying.
More intimidating than regular goblins.
This one
No, he's
stacks
not.
things. This one stacks things.
he understands how to
He has
stack.
learned how to make fortifications. Poor ones.
So you move into the back room, and the wench closes the door behind you. And you see a figure back further in the shadows as candlelight is filling this room, and there are a few other oil lamps that are trying to occasionally through gear tech trying to flick and spark these lanterns. They're flaring to life and then gutting out a few seconds later. So it's got flickering oil lamp light combined with the candles and scrolls that are on the table. The war chief sits on the other side of the table, and he gives all of you a nod. He actually stands, and let's see. He stands, and when Gareth, you approach the table. Welcome to my hall.
Warrior clasp.
Warrior clasp.
Grab the wrists.
My name is
by the penis.
Because that would make this a different game.
That's an Australian.
Said I didn't do it.
That's an Australian g'day. You know, little hello from down under. Cool, blimey, she's a blow.
I'm gonna get you on more streams, Dave.
Yeah, because it's only on streams that you're on that Jordan breaks. So,
Oh boy.
Tis my pleasure. We're monsters.
look, Taroga, my warriors, sit at the table, enjoy food and enjoy drink. Look, Taroga.
Yeah, that's the one. That's what I meant.
I
You
sit
said
down.
it.
I have a request from you. Although this is not a request that comes down from the greater war chiefs or from Thrall himself, this is a matter that is important to Kalimdor in and of itself. This particular area.
Are we eating fleshies?
You may have that opportunity, and I will not averse you of it. If you happen to come across them, that's your business. It won't leave this room. All of you were chosen because you're capable as individuals, and together as a whole, you've done and worked together more than once before. But this mission is only for your ears and eyes, at least for now.
When do the other parts of us get to be involved?
What?
Once your mission is complete and you've told me what has happened, and if you come back, not everyone has. There have been some scouts, some trolls of my good friend here, and he indicates the shadowy figure behind it, on his left behind him, who have not returned, and some less useful goblin scouts that have not returned as well. Though that's not surprising. Matiraz, introduce yourself. And a troll shaman with small tusks as trolls go. But still the tall, well-muscled, slightly hunched form.
My name is Mati.
Oh shit, he's doing the accent. Let's
doing
buckle
it.
in, everybody.
Welcome.
Thanks, Sam.
My name
He's leaning like he's got a ear infection.
is Mati. Matiraz. Welcome you to the deserts of Tanaris, man. Welcome to a place that none of you have ever seen before. We have pieces have been brought home. There are some caverns near the center of this desert. That is where they were traveling to, and they have not returned back. Those who have returned back have had claw marks, teeth marks, no weapons, but though we know that there are some of the humans that are in this place, yeah. But we believe that it is beasts that we have not encountered before, that are out there, and we need to know more about it. War Chief Thrall needs to know more about it, you understand? Yeah? Yeah.
Excellent. The
Master Lebowski has been good enough to give us use of his contraptions. You'll be each given one and ride out into the desert. It is 2 days and 1 night from Gadgetzan. Head southeast, southwest from here. You will be able to see you in right place because it's only place where there is forest, where there is trees. In middle of desert. Not some oasis. Many trees or copse. And large mountain jutting out of middle of desert, yeah. So, you return back and make sure your name is known to the war chief. Not just good full binder here, but Troll himself, the big man. Huh? Excellent. So, that is all I need, but one more thing. One of scouts bring back something. Bring in. And another troll comes bringing in with a package that is about like most of his chest broad, wrapped in bloody cloth. That has been like the cloth that's been stained in blood, and he seems to be straining. Whatever it is, it's a heavy weight. And he places it on the table with a heavy thud, almost a metallic thud, that bends the wood of the table a little bit. Like, one of the scouts came back with this thing. You'll be able to see what killed it quite readily. And the troll pulls back the cloth. And you see a creature you've never quite seen before. You've heard about it. A scaled reptile creature. No bigger than this. With 4 legs that are stuck in rigor mortis. And almost bronze metallic scales. With a slight green underbelly. And it's that underbelly that's been pierced by a single hole about yay big. Looks cylindrical in nature and bores about halfway through. All the way through its body, out to the other side. And the troll lifts this creature, and its scales rattle like coins clanging together. As this strange whelp-like creature, you see the hole on the other side. Whatever it is that did this was strong enough to pierce the scale of this thing, and is hard. And he bangs the scales of the strange reptilian creature. These scales be as hard as any metal that comes out of the mountains, yeah. And he was strong enough to punch through it.
Devin, what kind of creature is this that we've seen it or heard of it before?
You've heard of it before. It's called a Draco or a Drak. You don't know, like it's a thing.
It is a thing.
It is a thing. Yes, you've heard about it. These strange reptilian creatures that are not terribly known to the Horde at this point in time.
Okay.
I reach forward.
Yeah.
I take a little bit of flesh from the hole.
Yep. As immediately you get a metallic tang on your tongue from the little bit of flesh and blood.
Can I determine anything from it?
Make an Arcana check, actually.
You
get a feeling that moves through your body.
8.
Okay, you get a feeling that moves through your body that's familiar to you because of your training in the arcane arts. And you have a feeling of a conjuration aura that starts from, as it passes down your throat and into your chest, from the pit of your stomach, because it doesn't take long for you. Once it hits the pit of your stomach, you start to feel that same aura of conjuration that you feel were you to cast a spell. That is coming from this creature. So it's innately magical, whatever it is. And it has a conjuration aura about it.
Like the creature is magical,
the creature
or whatever
is magical.
Punctured it?
No, you ate the flesh of the creature.
Yeah.
You can make a safe assumption that the creature is magical.
Yeah.
Whether whatever punctured it is also magical, you can't quite determine because there's nothing left of it. There's no residual. There's nothing residual about it.
Okay.
No. It doesn't also look like the wound has been charred closed or anything.
Yeah. Tastes like magic. Conjuration. This thing might have been summoned.
And this is what we need you to find out. whether this beast is natural to the area. The war chief need to know this, yeah. Need to know this and any other threats. We already have the alliance coming down. We can't have humans snooping about in horde business.
Now, before we take this task, I have a question for you about what paths we might take to eliminate this potential threat.
It is. I want you to see what this cave is. This is more investigation for now. If you encounter any threats, you see it, you find any humans, I believe. Yes, and he looks to the war chief, and the war chief nods his head. You kill them. You make certain they don't go reporting back to their king.
So you're opposed to us just burning the fuck out of that forest?
The forest, in and of itself, but if you burn it, is neither here nor there. But I want to know what's in this space, this cave. I do not think that it is the forest that is magical. It is this place, this mountain. But the forest, is not so big thing to me. It would be more important to him. And he points to your Tory friend, points to Jerry. Like that seems to be more of an important thing to him, not to me so much, eh?
I mean, are you opposed to us just burning the fuck out of the forest?
Yes.
Damn.
Just yes.
Just yes.
Alright, we'll save that as a backup plan.
Dave, you're a druid, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's fucking
And a
opposed.
Tauren.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, no, he's not.
Yeah, that's
he's
not gonna
with
happen.
Worst case scenario.
Fire. No.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
So you were given each a barely functional motorcycle. With you want to, they can have a sidecar if you like. If one of you wants to ride in the sidecar,
Do we sit on it and it just bows in the
it
middle?
bows in the middle. It just. But the wheels are
an easy rider because I've sat
yeah,
on
the
it.
wheels are ludicrously large, and actually, Gareth, when you lean back, it actually breaks the seat a little bit, but your weight molds it into the rest of the metal surrounding. You sort of make your own seat as you lean back, molding around your back muscles.
I wish to purchase this model.
You're like, you want to purchase it? Says
It is
the
fixed.
I can fix it for you. All my guys can fix it for you. We give you a fair price for it.
But
Yeah.
it's fixed by someone better than you.
Like, I made it.
Clearly.
Oh, I charge you double.
You'll charge me nothing. You'll fix it. Because you will have honor! For once.
The goblin spits on the ground and walks back into the road warrior.
You missed me! Your aim is as bad as your construction.
A wrench
Fix
goes
my
flying
steed.
through the air. Make a deck save.
I'll catch it. And now I am armed!
DM said make a dex save.
Fine.
D20.
I got a D20.
Okay, alright. I just
It's
didn't
somewhere.
see
I
it.
got a D20.
Where'd the D20 go?
Oh, I have a D20.
I
You
did?
Just use mine.
Fine.
Blah.
It's just you. I got a 10.
The wrench clonks you in the head and drops in your lap.
Now I am armed! With mighty ability to repair my steed. This has been a good day. Where did my dice go?
Now, before we go, I need to take an hour to get some backup for this mission. If you guys have something you need to do.
No.
I'm actually quite good, yeah.
Okay, well,
You spend the hour. Go ahead and describe what you are summoning and preparing.
Well, Sam has a picture of my companion. It is a spined devil by the name of Ass Muffin. And it is my demon companion.
Look at me.
I approved it, so I guess you can look at me.
Welcome, Ass Muffin.
No, you didn't make it.
Welcome. Why am I here?
We have a mission. Lots of killing, lots of eating.
Excellent. Food for the fell.
Yes.
None of that has been confirmed. You just made some grand promises.
And he looks
One
at
way
you.
or another, there will be eating.
And the creature rises on its serpentine body with wings, but sort of shadowing you out.
There will be this time, yes. Not like the last time was so little. Was left.
I reach into my bag and I pull out a small, dainty human finger and I hand it. Would you like a lady finger?
That was terrible.
Very much enjoys its little snack. As all of you get on your motorcycles.
We're all watching this horrified.
Yeah.
Like this
I
got
can take
dark.
him.
This got dark real fast.
Can you take both of us?
Probably.
Shit.
Damn it.
You forget I am now armed with a new tool.
The motorcycles start with a clunk and a slight purr and then a vroom, and you're taking off across the sands.
I want to point out I have my own, and Ass Muffin is riding in my sidecar.
Excellent. Yes. So we're doing that.
I'm just putting the microphone.
Okay. Yep. There. We good?
Because everyone's complaining about the fact when you whisper, you disappear.
Oh, okay. All right. I will try and whisper more into the mic. I apologize. Yeah.
Who knew when
Just
you're being
so loud
quiet, it doesn't show up.
Nothing
as
to
loud.
right. All right.
Just do a stage whisper, dude.
Yeah, sir. That's true. So you travel out across the sand dunes of Tenaris. It is a mixture of blasted rock that occasionally has breaks of sand that churn and roil with the wind. But it is nothing. Occasionally there are trees that mark an oasis off in the distance.
Question:
Yep.
Are we going southeast or southwest?
Southwest.
Cool.
Down into down to the more of the heart of Tenaris itself. You travel again for a day and a night, but
What do
as
these things fucking run on?
Hmm?
What do these things fucking run on?
We don't ask questions because it's made
Yeah.
by goblins.
it's
Goblin magic.
goblin magic
By goblin
and
magic.
goblin
I'm
fuel.
legitimately concerned because we've been riding consistently for a day and a whole, and I'm like, when will this run out of what it's running on?
Goblin magic may be slightly nuclear. We don't want to know.
Yeah. In fact, I always wondered that
affect me.
whenever I had a motorcycle
Glow in
mount
the dark.
in WoW and it ever ran out of fuel. It just you don't you don't think too hard about these things.
Just let it go.
Yep. As the sun begins to rise on the third day, though, what are each of your passive perceptions?
14.
14.
Is it my wisdom or my wisdom plus my fucking?
It's
bonus?
10 plus your proficiency if you're proficient in
Which I am.
perception, and then your wisdom.
13.
13. Okay.
14.
15.
15. Nice.
12, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Sorry, 14. My bad.
14. Okay. Yep.
What do our non-elvish eyes?
So Jeff, as you wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
you're used to particular smells of nature. Jeff, you
No, it's Jeff now.
your nostrils flare as you smell smoke off in the distance, over a sand dune. You can see well off to another half day's ride. The tips of what is likely the forest that they're talking about. Some strange shape, green foliage further to the southwest, but a little more towards to the northwest. You do smell smoke, and you see a thin trail though of embers from a night watch fire that are starting to burn low.
We're approaching our destination, methinks.
Well,
I point off in the distance, the smoke rising.
Ass Muffin.
So the smoke being in the northwest and in the southwest is in the direction you were traveling. You see the tips of trees. Now that he
Can you
points
send
it
your
out.
anal problem out to scout it?
I was thinking about that, yes.
That's his name, right?
Ass Muffin.
Close enough.
Ass Muffin's not especially
But he's not one of
Stealthy.
us.
true. Ass Muffin.
it's getting
Yes.
I want you to fly up real high and see what you can make of that.
He looks off in the direction of the smoke. Such a challenge you give me.
It will be if
master.
you don't die.
Yes, make sure you're not seen.
His large demonic wings flap and send him soaring into the
I
air.
believe he was sassing you, man.
I have a question. Why did you not summon a succubus so that you could lay with it?
Oh, what
Oh
the
wow!
How do you think I died?
Best response ever. Make a stealth check for Ass Muffin, please.
That's your D20 live shirt. Make a stealth check for Ass Muffin.
There you go.
Please. Oh, that's actually
It's
not
not a
bad.
beam font.
That's a
with
17.
Okay. As he passes off into the distance, and you see that he's
He also
high
has
enough that he can
120 feet of dark vision.
Exactly, yeah. So he sees in the early dawn. You hear his voice speaking into your head. It is humans, human flesh. I count 3. They are sleeping in the ways mortals do.
Sounds like dinner, boys. Or breakfast. Breakfast.
One does not sleep. One keeps watch, but his eyes are cast toward the eastern desert now.
Ass Muffin, I have a job for you.
Yes, he speaks with a little more eagerness in his voice.
How do you feel about pancakes?
I
I'm really confused.
Yeah, I am too.
Just wait, I'm about to explain. It's a lead up.
Strange human food. Again, yes.
I want you to grab the one that's on watch, lift him real high into the air, and drop him.
That's not a pancake, that's Greek food.
For fuck's sake.
Shalom. No, that's not.
Shalom!
Hey.
Alrighty, such a fine line today.
Such a
Oh
fine.
God.
Yeah, so we're good. Yeah.
Just playing with that line. Pokey, pokey, pokey.
Pokey pokey.
You think you can do that?
Yes.
Meanwhile, we'll get ready to move. We'll wait for the scream.
That doesn't take long. Make one more stealth check.
I can't remember. Were we allowed
Right.
to kill humans?
Okay.
Yes. Oh, awesome. This is going to be a good day.
14.
Said yes.
So within a few moments, no more than a 10 count, you see Ass Muffin disappear from behind the sand dune, and then off in the distance, a slightly larger shadow rise up into the air. And even though there's not much to echo in this flat landscape, you hear a very soft.
This is going to be a good day.
Oh, it's
Wham.
like
Then a-
birds chirping.
Not a wham, more of a
Gross.
sand.
Let's move.
Baddies?
You were the baddies.
You are the baddies. All right, so are you sneaking up or are you charging?
We're on motorcycles.
You're on
Devin.
motorcycles.
Okay, who does... Okay, just...
Motorcycles compared with the guy screaming going out and
Yeah.
screaming
Going down.
then exploding. Chances are our stealth rolls are going to be a little bit difficult, boys.
Yeah. I think we might have disadvantage.
A little bit.
A little bit.
As far
a
as
little
the
bit.
choppers and
Roll
do
4, take the slowest one.
All right, so you're revving your motorcycles, going over the sand dune, kicking up sand as you go, landing
Can I
solid.
do
Yep,
a sweet wheelie jump?
you can. You can do a wheelie jump.
I am finished for this stream. That's all I wanted.
I'll in fact give you a one-wheeled landing. Just land in the sand and hit solidly.
That's
Yep.
perfect.
The sand whips behind the tire as you scream down the rest
I
of the
want to do a
desert.
trick too. I pull back, I just rear it up and pull out my longsword and light it up. If someone could play Ace of Spades, please.
For those two poor motherfuckers who were in the middle of an empty desert until 4 seconds ago.
We need to leave one alive for interrogation. Hang on to my companions. We need to leave one alive for interrogations.
And when interrogations are done,
Well, that's different now, isn't it? Let's roll, boys!
So the two Stormwind soldiers,
Terrible people.
They not wearing their full armor because they're just waking up
Why
from
would
sleep.
they?
So they have their chainmail on. They quickly throw on their pauldrons because that's how well pauldrons work. They just land them and somehow they attach themselves to their body, and grab their large shield and sword.
It's
Putting-
World of Warcraft, and they moved it from their inventory to their character.
Their character
and the full armor was immediately applied.
Exactly. So they stand with large tower shield back to back and swords waiting for you to come down, knowing that there's no reason for them to run because they can't outrun you on your motorcycles.
So, Devin, what are the mounted rules for this situation?
We're just gonna circle them like terrible, terrible marauders. That's it. We're marauders.
Yeah.
Hey, like land pirates.
You're gonna get +2 to your attack rolls as a circumstantial bonus for being mounted, and of course you have the speed of the motorcycle.
Should we roll initiative?
Roll initiative now. Who is using what type of weapon? I need to know if you are. So do your roll your D20. Add your dex.
What'd you get?
If you're using a
It's okay.
who's using a finesse weapon at all?
Nope.
No, not you. I know. No. Okay.
No.
Is anyone using a two-handed weapon?
Yep.
You two are a -2.
What do you have?
Oh,
You're are you spellcasting or are you using a weapon?
All right.
So,
You know, there's only 2 guys. I got dagger. A dagger.
Actually,
Dagger, which is a finesse weapon, so
yeah.
get +2.
if I use mine, my quarterstaff has versatile. So
Yep.
if I just use it one-handed,
That would be fine. You send it to your straight dex. And what are you using?
I have a short bow.
Short bow. Okay. All
why
right.
are you driving? And I have a two-handed sword. I can't throw a bow.
I use my toes, man.
Fair enough. Oh, your accent's back.
I'm trying.
You're
I mean,
trying.
he inspired me. I'm like, first thing I was like, how am I gonna follow
Oh, that's
that?
pretty decent.
That was a
Also, because you're using a ranged weapon and it's not a firearm, you get a +2 to your dex as well.
Hey.
Okay.
6
So
on initiative with the -2.
initiative.
Yeah, 6.
What was yours? 7. Sorry.
6.
3,
6, 23,
22.
22. And
Makes
um,
all the difference.
Okay.
I never calculated
13
my
plus,
spell
etc.
casting.
I'm gonna go.
okay. All right.
Ew.
So we're it's gonna be Jareth first.
Cool. I'm gonna
Jeff.
do natural 20. It's just
Yep.
proficiency plus strength, right? So that's a +6 anyway.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Then 1d8 plus, that's pretty decent. 6 plus another 6 plus my strength
Yes.
and proficiency.
Once plus your strength once.
Okay.
You had to crits in 5th edition. I just added once.
Oh, yeah, she does that.
12 plus another 4, so that's 16. Plus proficiency of 2, that's 18.
Wow. Describe the death of the first soldier for us, please.
I'm gonna crack him in the face so that his head snaps back and breaks his neck.
It does so. So they line up back to back with their Stormwind shields bravely to the front. The soldier tries to raise his shield, but the speed at which the motorcycle is coming at him with your quarterstaff, it rings his shield back, knocks into his face, and again, as you said, hit him so solidly in the helmet that his brother in arms hears a crack, falls dead in the sand.
This is gonna be a really quick combat.
Gross.
Yeah, well, that was a lot of damage.
There's
only
only
two of
two
them.
my weight.
There's
What are
only
you
2 of
guys
them.
doing?
Hey,
Yep.
hey! Initiative order. Shut up.
You haven't even touched the part where he turned into a bear.
I can't yet until 5th level. We're
Yeah.
4th.
So the soldier in turn is gonna hold his action, or is gonna ready his action. So he seeing the situation of his brother there, he turns to face you onwards and lowers his sword against the top of his shield, waiting for someone to come within range. Go.
Are we doing laps around him on our motorcycle?
That's up to you. He didn't. He had a quarterstaff.
I'm gonna like be driving around it.
Okay.
I'm gonna and so I'm going to try to wound the other one. And just
I'm
kinda-
sorry I'm
Okay.
so efficient.
Yep.
So I'm gonna
People
shoot. I'm
said
gonna
one
roll
word so
to
far,
try
which
to
was
shoot him
yes.
in the leg.
All right. So that'll be a -2 for circumstance for just trying to get him in the leg specifically.
Okay.
Yep.
So then, if that's the case, I've got
Actually, maybe
plus
you can help
2
me
short
with
bow.
something.
Yeah. So 4, which sounds terrible, plus a 11, which is and then another 2 that you gave me, or is that for initiative?
That was for initiative.
Okay, sorry. So then 15 altogether.
We're using variant initiative depending on types of weapons that you're using.
Sure. Okay.
15?
To hit.
All right, so he manages to get his shield, his tall Alliance shield down into the sand, buried in the sand just in time to have the arrow knock off of it, and then raises it back up. Next in order, go.
So, propping myself on my motorcycle so I can just drive by him, I pull out my two-handed greatsword.
Yeah.
I activate its command word, which ignites the fire. The word is fluffy.
Fluffy.
Fluffy. It's a word I won't commonly say by accident. And I proceed to swipe at his legs.
Okay, yep. So like a trip sort of thing.
No, I'm cutting his legs off.
Oh, you're cutting his. Okay, all right. That
He'll
yeah.
live.
No, he won't.
Yeah. It's a flaming sword. It'll cauterize the wound.
That poor man.
Wow. Okay, go ahead.
Chaotic neutral.
I don't know if that comes into play here.
All right.
Good plan.
Chaotic orc.
22.
Oh, that hits.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's 4d6.
Yep.
Oh, you have 46 right beside you.
Yeah, I know. But I don't want you to ruin your dice.
Oh, I meant
9.
right here. Those aren't mine.
Oh, I don't know whose they are. I don't want to ruin them. They're not mine. Anyway, 9. 11.
They're mine.
16 to his legs.
So you said that as his shield is being raised and raised back up, he's unable to spin it in time, and your flaming sword catches him right in mid thigh. Actually, cuts him to the next one. Pulls him completely off of his feet. The flames are so hungry, though, that they trail up his body and incinerate him.
Oh no! I get out. I stop my motorcycle. No, this is not what I did. I start stamping him out.
And as he is falling, you stamp him in the back and in the shoulder and in the back of the head, we'll say.
Did you actually kick a man
and
down and put him out?
And trying to put him out, Garth, you kick the Alliance soldier to death, driving him further into the ground. So not only does the poor bastard burn to death, he chokes to death because you put him in the ground face first in sand, and you also kicked him to death.
Well, let no one ever say you're not a gentle man.
And the other Alliance soldier is now dead.
Well, shit.
I roll up.
Does anyone have the ability to speak to the dead?
No.
Well, we can say a few words for him, but
No, like communicate with them while they're dead.
I mean, you
I
guys
feel like we should really apologize for that last thing because that was
Well,
way too much.
my name. I know my name. I start eating his arm.
I start digging into the other one's neck.
Should I just walk away from this?
This, you know, is a normal thing for them. Him, not so much.
My name is Garath Eats What He Kills. It wasn't Garath Eats a Sensible Meal this afternoon.
That's fair, yes.
It was on his business.
Holy shit.
It was on his business card, yeah.
He had a garden salad with the chicken
I
breast.
feel a little bad though.
Hey,
Not because
Garath.
I killed him, but because it went against our objectives.
Garath.
Garath, I choose the
This
vegan
one's
option.
windpipe is pretty tender.
I didn't
You want
kill
it?
that one.
Oh,
For
fine.
fuck's sake. I'm gonna look through their tents for some maybe like paperwork, plans, orders, something that would be important as they devour
I'm
bodies.
only eating a bite. It's
You're
not
a fucking
it's,
monster.
It's
I
not
get a
weird.
short rest by doing this.
It's weird.
Black Rock Clan has no right to argue to me about cannibalism.
It's weird. They made it part of your name because it's a warning.
I chuck a human heart at Drogen.
Not helping
Oh,
the point.
He catches it on the end of his spear, or one of his claws,
No,
actually.
Drogen. I throw it at him.
Oh, okay, all right.
He's
Yeah.
you are
just
Black.
Trojan, yeah.
Just smack.
He's a Black. I said his clan name right? The Black Rock.
Blackrock's
Blackrocks used to do that.
No, sorry. What's his troll clan? Like
Darkspear.
Darkspear.
Yeah,
Darkspear.
sorry, I'm not going to be lectured by. Sorry, I'm not going to be lectured by the Darkspears about cannibalism.
That's fair.
That's actually.
Technically, this isn't cannibalism. It's still weird though.
And a piece of meat, heart, smacks against your face and sloths off.
I can
Not
say
helping.
a few words to comfort the horribly slain dead.
Because ghosts and skeletons are a very real thing.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are
I'm
very
going to
much.
try and usher them to the other side.
Wouldn't it be funny if we just keep going in a...
We didn't check and see if Pancake was dead.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my god!
Oh my god!
I'm gonna
The reason that
safely.
actually make a search or investigation. I think it's investigation in the system.
Yeah, investigation.
Yeah.
We're monsters.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Hence the name of the
guys.
stream, Mike.
What?
Hence the name of the stream.
Yeah, we're the bad guys.
9, I guess.
9? Okay. You find the orders easily enough. They were here in Teneris to investigate strange magical properties that were emanating from the desert. And it said that you see that all it's signed is a J at the very bottom, with the sign of the Kirin Tor that you understood that all Horde recognized because of the Third War.
Son of a damn it.
But their orders were essentially to look for magical emanations that are coming from this desert.
Cool.
What you don't find with your search of 9 is Pancake, who is a good several feet underneath the desert sands.
Pancake! Did you survive?
And has no bones really left that aren't fractured in some way.
Wouldn't it be funny
I
if we
give
just
Assmuffin a thumbs up.
Wouldn't it be funny if we
His
just
tail flicks upwards in acknowledgement.
He holds up someone else's finger. Not those are the people we've killed. We don't know where he got. It's like,
Damn it,
Wait a
Assmuffin,
minute.
you stole more of my fingers.
Yeah, he's
Wouldn't it
holding
be
up a
kinda
hand
funny?
like this.
like, where'd you get that? Just don't.
He's actually got my head. Son of a bitch.
He's like,
Give me that back.
give me that back.
Wouldn't it be kind of funny if just at some point we meet Arthur, he's like, you assholes. Do you know how many people we've gotten because of you guys? Oh, it's probably a lot.
Thanks. Okay. So yes, those are the orders that you find among the Alliance soldiers.
Cool. So I would recognize the Kirin Tor logo.
Yeah, most Horde recognize the Kirin Tor logo just because Jaina allied with Thrall and the Horde during the end of the Third War. And even though she's no longer with the Kirin Tor, she had stuff on her person.
I don't think I would know much about.
So you don't necessarily know much about them, but you know they are mages of the Alliance or related to them.
So I'm gonna wait for him to kind of wipe his hands off something, and then I'm gonna hand.
Value Village. Oh, okay. It's bad because like the last bit that's always in the mug actually like faillessly drips on you. Like always.
Tell us more about the
Yeah.
on the live stream.
Sorry, I didn't realize this had stopped.
I was patiently waiting my turn to interact with your character, but we were doing a full review of your Valley Village Cup. Would you? So
You know,
I didn't want to interrupt you.
Would you like some blood?
I'm good, thank you though.
Hey, what can I do for you?
I found this note in the tent.
well done, man.
What do you want
You
me
are
to do?
learning.
What do you know about these J from the Kirin Tor?
Oh, we are the worst people.
Can I do a history check?
History check, yes.
D&D Beyond is never going to sponsor us.
Not with that attitude.
No.
Natural 20.
That is likely Jaina Proudmoore.
Son of a damn it.
Laura Bailey.
Oh, we're in trouble.
So let's go.
Like the one human we're not allowed to kill. Or elf, whatever the fuck she is.
Let's skedaddle, boys.
Yeah, well, we gotta take the notes.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Why don't we take this opportunity and kill her? Why not?
She's literally like the only woman we're not allowed to kill. Like the only one. Thrall said. He had a note saying, don't kill this one.
It's like a
We've killed other Proudmoors. We weren't allowed to kill this one.
All right, so we'll just remove her arms and legs.
We'll come back to that. We're in the middle of a desert.
Okay.
Let's. we'll put that on the back burner though. So.
Good end goal.
Jesus Christ.
That with burning the forest. Got it.
Yes, done. There you go.
So,
No!
so as a side I've come to learn, there's two very important rules for D&D party. One is the face. One is the player herder.
Yes, yep.
The player shepherd.
The cat herder, I call them, yes.
It's like everyone's staying
And a moral
alive.
compass.
The moral compass.
Some cat herders are a little more vocal than others.
Yes.
And just saying it's like, we are legitimately doing absolutely nothing, so therefore I'm going to go do the thing that furthers the plot.
Everyone,
Yeah.
focus, focus, in. Okay, so we've got these notes. We've got a bunch of corpses. We know there's alliance here. Where do we go from here?
Lord Jesus Crust is now hosting us. I am, thank you very much.
I approve heartily of the name because it's both funny and thought-provoking for a snack leader.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, very much so.
I'm kind of hungry now.
I'm kind of hungry, yeah.
I
Great job.
just ate
Good job.
two.
And thank you for the hosting.
Those soldiers would have done a lot better, would have tasted a lot better with some cheese on them.
Cheese and or crust.
Cheese
Yes,
and or
yeah,
crust, yeah, exactly.
Maybe some
Well, the
herb
crust was the
crusting.
skin.
Oh, fuck's sake. Let's just move along.
All right, herder, do your job.
Okay, so Where do we go from here? Any ideas from the...
We could go
Peanut
to the
gallery.
forest.
Are we supposed to be heading towards that forest?
Well, there's a cave in the forest we're supposed to be checking out.
Okay, so then the
And
forest
Devin's nodding, so it means I got one to kill, right?
Gold star. Okay, so let's... Okay, let's keep heading there, I suppose. There's no reason to stick around here. Unless they have any valuables we can take as well?
Aside from the one who was burnt to a crisp and then pounded into the desert, the one who did the one that was killed by Jeff, his helmet is bent legitimately like concave, but the rest of his armor is just fine, and his shield and sword are just fine.
Check it, I'm not going to haul around a full Alliance soldier kit. That's way too heavy.
You also have his firearms that are there. Every Alliance soldier has firearms.
Hey!
Speaking of which, I
Can we steal his
imagine
money too?
That's fine. Yes.
I'm gonna strap down with a bunch of guns.
Nice. Each of them has D10 gold pieces on them. So if you roll 3d10 and you'll get that many gold pieces.
Speaking of which,
Alright,
I
that's
imagine
on
that
me.
these people were
Yeah, I can do that for you.
scouts.
All right, go ahead.
Yes.
So
D10.
we've eliminated the scout, which is good. But what if people come to check on the scouts?
They'll be disappointed.
Man, I just want to know if we're hiding any evidence.
I should make a point.
Oh,
Okay,
okay,
so-
Scouts would have a kind of signal fire system of some kind. Why don't we just manipulate that?
1, 7, and 10.
And
so
draw out more
18
meat to eat?
GP.
No. It'll throw them off our trail. But also, if you want to kill them, that is also okay.
How much money was it?
18 GP.
I got it.
Yay.
Actually,
so you're going to be our bank
gold
because you're the
pieces?
biggest
Gold pieces,
one
yeah.
of us
That's
all.
pretty
Yeah, no one's
good
gonna
for
mug me.
low-level adventurers, especially
They don't
in
have
WoW.
it. Oh, wait, yeah.
Like, when I played WoW back in vanilla days,
Dave,
I quit before.
Dave, let it happen. We can be rich. It's okay.
Yes.
We're probably
Yeah,
not
back
gonna
It's
in
almost
May-
like
our
before I
game is-
saw my first GP.
Trust me, whenever I was doing the GM notes, I went, "Oh, they get 500 gold pieces as extra equipment for level 4, level 5." I went,
That's a lot.
"That's a lot for vanilla WoW era." Wow, it took me 20 plus hours to get 1 gold. Whew. Okay. Anyway,
That's embarrassing.
Tell me about your Value Village mug.
yeah, right there you go. Moving on.
That's a Tamriel version of
So you
Companions.
you turn your bikes back towards the southwest. And again, another half day's ride. You come upon what Mati described as a forest. Yeah.
Companions, I have composed a poem.
Oh, what?
I have composed a poem for our journey.
Why?
Because it is my hobby. It is how I express myself with art. Would you like to hear it?
I would like to hear it.
Please.
I don't know what Pandora's box you just opened, but thank you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Did Ass Muffin say that?
Yeah, actually, yes.
Just from north.
He is the GM's voice to the characters.
Okay.
Fighting, slaying fun. Blood flows from my mighty blade. This is a haiku.
Can I see that?
The light with the laugh line, this is a haiku.
I bunch it up and I eat it.
Ah!
Oh god, that's amazing.
It was not long for this world. It
Woo.
burned out as quick as it came.
As quick as it came, it was glorious in its infancy and in the short time it was with us.
The real art
Wow.
is that we're the only
It was.
ones
This
that
is a
ever
haiku.
heard
That was the best part.
You should
Self-identifying.
eat that poem because you just slew the art.
Thank you. I was going for that. I like haikus. I like haikus. They have great economy.
So there's a forest with a mountain.
I hear
There's-
there's trees.
Yes, and the forest is, I would say that it's about 50, 60 meters across by a fair. Sorry, that's yeah, meters.
So why is that funny?
Strange term of
Large enough for a small peak of a hillside. It doesn't actually, the peak of it doesn't actually go over the trees. The trees from above would actually cover the hill itself. It's growing out of the desert, and is very odd just because the only thing that is a living feature among the rest of the desert, as far as your eyes can see, with the occasional palm tree being an exception. The other thing that's odd about it is there's strange purple veins of rock that are running out from the base of it to almost like veins of blood along the rock face. Aside from that,
Ah, vibranium.
Archonage.
Sure. Yeah.
We have found Wakanda. Explains her accent.
You son of a bitch.
23.
You don't know what kind of magic would change rock like this. But it's clearly infused with something. But you're not getting an aura off of as you approach it. You're not getting an aura off of it in itself. As you spend some time moving through the forest, trying to 14 feet up from the floor, not quite an archway, slightly oval. But the odd thing about it is there is undergrowth all around the forest. It actually is lush land here, but there's phosphorescent mushrooms all around the entrance to the cave as well, and there is a strange yellowish gold glow that's emanating from the cave, from the mouth of the cave itself. It's soft and likely you need to traverse deeper into it, but it's coming from somewhere inside that cave.
Feels like the Cave of Wonders.
Also,
the glow.
actually, all of you make an actual perception check. So instead of a raw 10, make a D20 roll.
Natural 1.
I literally got my passive perception in a roll. More often than not, our hearts
16.
in a lot of good ways.
This World of Warcraft stream brought to you by Disney.
It's not.
It's really not, and it's a good thing we didn't actually do that. So
4 minutes.
if we did
They
four,
tried once.
if we did 4 verses, then that would have actually been a problem.
You don't mess with the House of Mouse.
You don't. All right, so 16,
Don't RIP enough
Don't
time.
break your legs.
guys,
Break your legs.
16,
13.
13, Dom.
1.
Thanks.
11.
You have the metallic smell of blood coming from the inside of the cave as well. That cloying scent of blood that's starting to go from being gelatinous to dry and caked.
Gross.
Have you been here before?
Blood has been spilled here.
Can you tell that through your magic?
No, through my gigantic nose, you dolt.
I go,
This is
All the rest of you.
Is Ass Bandit doing the same with him, just going,
Ass Muffin!
Ass muffin.
He's doing finger guns.
It's like that one game where he's just going,
What's all right?
That's what I get.
Sorry, I poured the sass on real hard on that one.
It's okay, the one time I try to roleplay, it's cool. It's cool. It's just, did you get that from your character abilities? No.
I just roll real good. Damn it.
Know your place.
All right, sorry.
But I appreciate the effort. It's important. I appreciate the voice you're doing. Yeah. Very
Okay,
much so.
moving along.
All right,
then.
so that is what you get from the smell, Jeff.
Turning the cats forward.
should we let our torches to go in first? Just
It's
we're not-
lit.
I mean, I can.
There is a
see
source
just
of
fine.
light. Is it fully lit? But
I'm going to say no right off the
I
bat.
mean, I have dark vision, so I don't need to.
I think we all do.
Do you have dark vision?
I don't know.
yeah, he's the only one. Troll,
I've never-
Forsaken. You two have dark vision. I'm
I'm
not
a
sure about
troll.
you.
Ass Muffin has great dark vision.
Yes, he does.
I'm a troll, he's a Tauren.
Taurens don't have dark vision. I think you.
Produce flame.
Yeah.
He's like, I've never been in the dark before.
I'm a daytime
Your nose
lord.
is great.
There you
but
go.
your
Yeah.
eyes are shit.
I'm daytime
You
lord.
you lift your immense hand. And a flame.
Produce flame.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you have
Okay.
that light down.
Yeah.
So you
into
step
the cave?
inside. Yeah, you step inside. The cave in and of itself seems composed of 3 different types of materials. The veins on the exterior weren't so much crystal; they're actually sand, but a sand that's so tightly packed together that it has a crystalline surface to it.
Almost like glass.
It's like glass, exactly. So, but
It's
with a
reflecting light from somewhere else.
yeah, it's reflecting light likely from these strange phosphorescent mushrooms that didn't only had this glow whenever they're inside in the dark. So there's everything from purple to light green to orange to all sorts of things that are trailing this singular cave that is almost oval in shape. Yeah.
This is actually a real test. I'm gonna pick up a mushroom and touch it against my lips. If my lips tingle, I'll know they're poisonous.
Yep, that's that. They are not.
Cool.
Pass the fuck out.
For the record, I am resistant and have advantage against poison.
Well, you're dead.
Same here.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So yeah. So but as you pull the mushroom out of the ground, its glow starts to fade, and then once you put it back into the ground, it's almost like its stem goes back. It's almost like stem reverts to a point where you never actually pulled it out. You
Weird.
rip it out, and the roots follow. You touch it. There's no tang, and then you put it back on the ground about where you had pulled it out of, and the roots go back into the ground,
Gross.
and it falls into the same position that it was when you lifted it out.
Can I take out a mushroom and then touch my tongue to the ground, like to the earth?
It has to.
I'm dead. What do I care?
It's just a little picture
actually,
of our
you to so
equipment
so
in
you
war,
are you
right?
are you are you taking like you take up some of the dirt and consume it?
Oh no, I'm like sticking my tongue in the
He's in there in his
Yeah.
full warlock robes, going.
You have a fainted. You have a faint aura of the same. You just even just touching the ground here has the same conjuration aura. And it isn't until it's not so much that you taste the aura, but the moment you actually place your hands on the ground, you're like, oh, before you even touch your tongue to the earth.
Can I discern anything or
Make an Arcana check.
second chance?
Those little horde scientists, stick your tongue in there.
Yeah, right?
Motherfucker!
Best way to understand something is to make it a part of yourself.
7.
No.
Okay, so I will give you this. You can't discern exactly what form of conjuration magic this is,
Yeah.
but you trace your clammy dead hands along the ground and up the wall. And you realize every place you're touching, like this entire cavern, has an aura of conjuration about it.
Guys.
The whole thing is an egg.
Guys.
And also, now that you're actually in the cave, again, like I said, it's an oval. There are 7 side tunnels leaving, 3 on each side, and then 1 at the far end, further ahead from where you are. And the second on the left, so about this direction from where you are currently standing, is the one where this strange golden glow is coming out.
Guys, this is a very big shot in the dark, but I think the mouth of this cave is actually a mouth.
I was gonna say.
The blood is coming from the far chamber.
It's, well, I'm not entirely sure whether or not this thing is alive, whether this mountain or hill is alive yet.
I have a science
But
experiment to determine that.
Yes.
Oh no.
Can we
Buzz off, coward.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't mean to emphasize the cow part of that. I'm so sorry.
It's beneath you that racism, you know.
I said I wasn't trying. Fuck.
You're not.
Do you swing your sword?
Holistic mental
Can you
space.
stab the building?
Sure.
It did,
No,
and
I'm
it's
very
just a
precise. This is science. Just go.
tink against the wall. Tink, tink, and it actually chips a little bit. Tink.
Ah!
you're right.
It is very hard. I have used science today. I shall add that to my character
You
sheet.
get once per day science.
Once per day science.
I'm not very good at it.
It is called for science.
Once per long rest.
You may make an
do
intelligence check.
science.
You may make an intelligence check with disadvantage related to science.
That's amazing. Okay, so can we just go investigate the?
It again. You turn away, and the scent of blood gets a little bit It's a little bit leaking corridor comes to a wall, and the wall itself seems to be, whereas the rest of the cavern is made of stone, this one seems to be made of almost a liquid sappy amber. That's gold, and it's just moving and shifting with an internal glow that shifts from orange to white to yellow in bursts of magical energy. And just this, that the entire back wall.
I will make my second science attempt. I will take one of the mushrooms and huck it at the ghoul. I will rip a mushroom from the ground.
You throw the mushroom at the wall, and as it passes within 5 feet, you don't see it for very long, so you've thrown the mushroom. But as it passes within about 5 feet of it, an image ripples into shape along the far wall, and you see a flash of old swampy trees, swamplands, black earth, and then in the distance, a charred brown landscape. The mushroom goes through, and you see it land on the other side, and it's actually sitting in the swampy earth on the other side.
Did anyone recognize that?
What the fuck?
Also, it is nighttime there versus daytime here.
I go out and get a stick.
Okay.
I rip another mushroom.
And by the way, it turns back into the strange amber glass-like.
And I impale it on the stick, and I just stick it in rather than throw
Sorry,
it.
what are you impaling on the stick?
I'm getting another mushroom.
Oh,
but this
okay,
time when I
alright.
put it on, it's going to stay in there, see how long the effect lasts.
Okay. By the way, while you're standing next to it, you can smell, because you've been around new growth and nature all your life, where he ripped the mushroom out of, you see a tiny little spriget coming out of the earth already.
Oh wow.
Sorry. So you said you throw it?
No, this one I'm going to put on a stick.
Yeah.
And hold it in there.
Just to
See
what
how long the
happens.
effect lasts.
Mouth on a stick.
Oh, okay. You as again
But I'm not
you
putting
walk up
anything
to
out.
it. You walk up to it, and it has that same shape again. You move it inside, and you see that your half of this stick with the mushroom is on the opposite edge, and it doesn't seem to change until either you step away or you pull it out and step away.
Does it go to the same place?
It does go to the same place.
So it's a portal.
Conjurations, magic does do but it consists of teleportation, time travel, a number of different things. Like conjuration can do all sorts of different things.
We need to put someone in it we don't care about. Use your ass bandit.
How about I just use me?
But you're part of the group.
Yeah, we care about you.
Yeah.
Aww.
More than your muffin.
Wow. That is the most disgusting thing you've ever said.
Look, if no one else would be able to figure out magic if you leave.
What?
Oh, he does nature, not.
I haven't exactly been useful in the Arcana regard.
get in
today.
there.
Fine, I'm going.
No, send your ass bandit.
I retract all my statements. You're a piece of garbage.
You step
Get in the
through.
hole.
You step through and you step through and you see him on the opposite side. If you turn around, you can actually look at them and see them there. But you step out, and immediately, if you actually had nerve endings left, you would have had a chill shiver through you. But you're in a very different place right now. Whereas you have been in the desert for very long. This is now a swampy, morass-like area.
I see what you did.
Okay, so you have it's disgusting earth, trees, muck and mud, and it's nighttime here, whereas you know it's daytime back there.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess this is Azeroth.
Well, it is Azeroth. You're in Azeroth.
Azeroth is the entire.
Oh shit! Sorry, no, I meant the other continent.
We're on Kalimdor.
Yeah.
There's the frozen north. Pandera's somewhere.
Yeah.
We don't know about that yet.
And we don't care either.
What's a
No, we
Pandora?
do. We do. The Horde has a Pandaren in it.
Not yet.
No. Pandora doesn't exist because it sucks.
It's the upside down, guys.
Is he upside down? I love it.
Okay, so what are you doing about the swamp then?
Well, I'm just.
And you do see that in the distance. There's a lot of rock formations, but it's like that the area where this swamp was or is comes to a very harsh and sudden stop in a circular shape. It's all orange. The mountain shape itself is no longer your natural mountain color. It's all oranges and reds with rocks at odd angles, and there's a structure at the far end that you can't quite make out right now.
It's almost
Any
like it has
idea?
been blasted clean of life.
Right?
Exactly.
Any idea where this is?
History check.
Key is in the words.
I blame the goblins because they play fast and loose
6.
with
Everything.
dynamite.
You want to say that there's something familiar about this. That it's like the something from stories, but can't quite place your finger on it yet.
Are there any creatures or beings nearby?
No. That you can not that you could not in the immediate area. No.
Ass muffin.
Yes.
Fly up and do a round. Try and see where we are.
He does so. Does a quick circle, comes back down, and like,
I see a single figure. By structure, archway, middle of rocks. He is calling not fell, but very powerful magic. Magic is trying to touch archway with magic. Don't know. A single figure.
Okay, don't be Deathwing.
What does he look like?
Robes with
God damn it.
strange feathers about him. But odd, his head. Bald, you say, I think humans say. And strange tattoos around eyes.
Are we fucked?
No, we just
do
need
I
to
have any
get
idea-
the hell out of here.
Do I have any idea who this is?
I'm really frustrated. I would just like to slap you.
Just like what?
I'd just like to slap you. I'm frustrated.
Come
I
here.
need an outlet.
If you must.
Like,
Can
Do
we?
you want to slap me back? Would that make you feel better?
No, that would only hurt me.
What's going on over there, dude?
Oh, okay.
I go back through the portal and
Yeah.
explain everything.
Does anyone have any idea who the hell that is?
you can all make history checks.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Is that even on my character?
We're trying so hard.
Yes, it is.
Well,
And I
not
guarantee
gonna
you,
happen.
it's not even what you think it is.
I totally think I know it. I know what this is.
13.
13K.
I know so little. In fact, I lose memories.
Oh, nice. Fantastic. Okay.
So history, you said?
Yeah, if you want to.
You're in.
I don't even have it.
You have an intelligence of +1.
Oh, okay. Well, just 5.
I'm gonna steal.
How old are you, Garath?
I don't know. How old am I?
Make a choice. Orcs live up to be about 75, 80 years old.
Tops.
I'd have been in my mid-20s when Thrall was ascending. Because I am an officer.
When Thrall was ascending, so you're
Or a
late
teenager,
20s?
screw it, a teenager.
Oh, you're a teenager right now.
Yeah.
Very, very young. Okay.
No, like,
Oh, you were a
I-
teenager as he was rising, so you're in your early 20s.
Yeah.
Okay, as an orc. You heard stories of a land that was blasted of life, an area from the old continent before you moved across the way, when the orcs first made fall in Azeroth. It was the price that was paid by the land to get the orcs here.
Yeah.
But aside from that, nothing.
I relay this information to the group.
Cool.
So do you want to go in the
Not
other
have
tunnel?
The best preservation skills of nature.
You want to go to the other tunnel before coming back here? What do you want to
Yes, yes. I think that
Yeah.
we should kind of close the door on that before we open a new one with this, which is this situation.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in it.
Yeah.
do? Okay, all right. You move into the next tunnel, or the other tunnel.
I'm gonna send Ass Muffin into the next tunnel.
He comes back, like,
Well, as we're going down the one
Can't get
tunnel.
over the
Yeah,
name.
he you hear him the first thing he says whenever he passes on, like, these have been dead far too long, sadly, to have any taste about them. Shame they are old and wise and strong.
Oh,
There is much blood spilled in this place.
Hey, Ass Muffin, you want to stop being so fucking cryptic?
Quit it with the palms. We're trying to figure things out.
It's a demon. It's not exactly like they're known for their customer service.
he gives a little laugh that he knows purely because he knows more than you do, and he's older than you are. So, and he's enjoying that. Like, and as you step into the cave, all of you see strange. It looks at this wall. The walls are stone, but it looks like thin metal plates have been smashed into the walls themselves, and circular whorls have been scratched in lines along each of these metal plates all the way along.
Lancelot turns up and
Oh,
moves.
sweet.
Dumbass.
Cerebro.
What? Sorry.
Nothing. Go on.
Okay. And in the middle of this room, covered in copious amounts of blood that is dried, and blood that is dried, and blood that is dried, is an altar, about a little larger than your average human in size. And you see in one particular corner are piles of bodies, about a little over a dozen. And Asmuffin looks to you. These are what you now call
elves, but not the ones that the Horde fought. These are clear of skin, white as you once were, not the night elves that you fought. These are elves from the old continent. These are ancient elves, strange ones with scales down their necks and holes in their bodies.
Can I inspect the body?
Swiss cheese, trees.
Gareth, you move a body down, and you see that you see something that even to you is that even to you is a bit of it takes you back a little bit. Because the two things that you see are, one, they're all for what you guys know as high elves, with the same long ears. Their hair is, instead of being browns and blondes, it's actually a riot of different colors, just across the different ones. The two things that you notice about these bodies, one is that they have scales that are going down along their necks, the same sort of scales that were on small little reptile whelp.
Do you know what this is?
Along their necks. And the second thing that you see is large holes, about yay big. One here in their chest, one in each of their eyes, one through their biceps.
I measure it compared to like a coin on me, just for a reference.
It's larger than a coin. The cylinder is about yay big, and the gold coin is yay big.
So like
you do realize, though, what is making them, as you see it as all around the dais, we'll say that Jeff finds them, are spikes that are about a long, a foot long.
Mm-hmm.
They bled.
They are bled, and these spikes are all made of a strange alloy of steel and maybe gold.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make a religion check to determine anything about the altar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I know exactly what that is.
18.
It's a sacrifice altar, but you've never seen anything like this before. It's like that, and the holes themselves on these bodies, just like that dragon reptile whelp thing. Yep. They've been driven right through.
The body's on the ground.
Yep.
The scaly parts, can I flick it? Is
Yep.
it metal?
Ting metal. The exact same metal as those. The exact same metal as the reptilian creatures that were that you had in the inn. And you see that each of these strange metallic spikes have blood caked on them, and were used they must have been used to drive through these bodies in one side and out the other, through its chest, because they're all different lengths, and it's just holes. Very clearly that one side is the exit side, because it's slightly smaller. The hole on the exit side is slightly smaller than the entrance side. But each of them have holes in their biceps, their thighs, their chest, their eyes.
So it's very clearly this was a massacre of some sort, and it's disgusting. And
Not sure
it's
why.
really concerning. I don't really know what to do with this though. Like
We make a note.
Is there anything? Is this like?
Oh, we'll take some spikes.
Takes out to
You may have
mark
lost.
down strange ritual spikes on your sheet.
Did you? Okay, so this cave that has all the death in it. Is there anything in the back of the cavern of this particular one?
The only thing that you had said that I would say was in the back is, again, these symbols that are all these metallic plates that are all against the walls that have row upon row upon row of this writing that is all made in circles, and it looks like tiny little etches and whorls that all have they're different, almost like they're letters representing something, but they're all different shapes.
Devin?
Yeah.
I pricked my finger with one of the spikes.
You prick your finger with one of the spikes. You get a tingling sensation from it.
Oh, we've lost the warrior.
You get a tingling sensation from it, and your hand has a weird afterimage.
Fascinating.
You've been drugged.
Ultra poisoned.
It doesn't last long. It doesn't last long, but it's there.
Can I try? See if it works on undead things.
I'm gonna. Okay. Well, they experiment with.
Does not. You feel a tang of magic that's trying to work on you, but nothing like what he's just described.
While these guys are performing terrible life decisions.
Excuse me, I'm life.
Unlife decisions.
I'm going
Did
to
you just assume his life status?
Oh my god. You guys make me sad. I'm gonna see if I can find anybody in this cave who's still alive.
No one in this cave is still alive. You
Like not
all
in
the way
this
through.
particular section,
However,
like anywhere else.
you being a tracker are able to see that there are footprints that lead out of this cave.
Yeah. let's go with
Not
that.
terribly recent, but that's like they're at least a week old. But they are not bothering to cover their tracks,
Okay,
and it's
where-
always to and from this altar room.
Yeah, Devin, I'm just going to take every single spike I can find.
Okay.
Would I be able to get advantage on an Arcana check if I were to just drive one of the spikes in my
shit.
hand for a long period of time?
You can do that if you want to drive one of them in.
Yeah, and I want to try and just determine what kind of magic this is.
You drive it into your hand, and you sense a very powerful conjuration aura. And it has a temporal component to it, and that's sort of now that you know, like you got Gareth's description of this weird afterimage on his hands.
Yeah.
But you don't see it. You don't have that effect. Maybe because you're dead. Who knows? You don't have it, but you have this spike, and your hand have a conjuration aura sense to it. And these are still powerful.
Still on the
About
tip of
them.
my tongue.
Yeah.
Only one person got it? That's depressing.
Would I be able to make a Arcana roll to connect the sacrifices in this chamber
Yeah.
to the portal in the others?
Yep, you can if you like.
20 altogether.
Okay. Now you sort of realize because it is conjuration magic that's working in both locations, likely what is happening is some aspect of these beings, these dead bodies, are that like have a temporal energy to them. They have a conjuration energy to them, and some aspect of either their blood or their life essence or something was likely used as a ritual component to open that portal.
And that portal itself may be not in line with our current time.
Exactly. It probably isn't in line with the current time. Yep.
The footprints that you said lead away from this altar, they go to the room we just came from?
One set is. The rest are just leaving the cave.
Okay. So just that's the reason the person who did
Find
this
bodies. Peace.
is the guy who we saw through the portal.
Or at least he has information. Let's go pump him for it.
Well,
You know.
there were seven side
Well, we'll go
caverns,
ask him.
right?
We're not
There are
pumping
7
him
side
for
caverns,
anything.
yes.
Branches. Okay.
No, this pumping works great. You grab him by the throat and you shake him up and down. That's how you pump him for
So
information.
we're in number 2 right
I
now.
stayed correct.
You're in the far one, like 7, I guess, just at the far end of the cavern.
So
There's
we went-
3 along each side. The second one on the left has the portal, and then this far one is where the altar is. Which is where you currently are.
Okay.
Where do we go next, boys?
Let's go have a conversation with the bald man.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, does anyone
Bald
have
man
a...
in the blasted land and the
Through the portal.
Let's go.
So
Sure.
you move through the portal, and all of you leave behind the desert and enter into a strange, swampy landscape.
It's more my style. Where how far away is this man from where we are standing right now?
You would say he's like 10 minutes away at a solid walk.
Okay.
He's off in the distance.
Okay, so we'll make our way there, I guess.
cue the Hobbit walking music.
Nope.
That's not the hobby walking.
It is
Gave
now.
her her token head rhythm.
So-
he would
By the
actually
way-
be able to write those songs.
Before we get there, like as we cross through the portal, I will mention to my companions.
By the way, if things start to get violent, I have a way of gaining the upper hand against whoever this might be.
Do you summon a giant hand and just drop it on them?
No, I make things magically dark, which is a problem for us, but isn't a problem for Ass Muffin. So, Ass Muffin might be able to scratch him up a little bit before we get our hands on him.
Well, let us hang on. Get that careful.
Just don't
Let
get
us
too
try
close.
communicating. We've got a pretty good batting average for murder.
So you move you move out of the swampland, and Ass Muffin is sort of soaring ahead, like, and he speaks into your mind, like, another short few minutes, and you will round the cliffs and see where the figure is. It is in small valley between several rockscapes.
Alright.
The only reason, as you round this bend, again, I'll say it's more like 15 to 20 minutes as you move around, but the only reason you didn't see this piece of architecture is because of the surrounding jutting rocks that are blasted all around it. And it is sitting atop a large pair of steps that is easily a good 80, 90, 100 steps. And on the top, off in the distance, and on the top of this dais is a large rectangular archway with a dragon face in the corner and claws, and a single dragon face in the center. And you, Gareth, immediately recognize it from the tales that you were told whenever you were young of the portal that brought the orcs to the orcs
it's
here.
Smaller than the portal should have been.
Hmm?
It's smaller than the portal.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's smaller than the portal should have been. But you also heard stories that the first portal was destroyed long ago, and a new portal was built.
Yeah, but didn't that one get destroyed too?
The portal, though, in your stories, has a green energy to it. But this figure that is standing at the base of these stairs, the encampments all around it have been used for debris and materials for this ritual circle. It stands at about 10 feet away from him in all directions in a circle, and it's blue energy that is trailing in the circle and going along the ground and touching and hasn't quite reached the portal yet. But these trails, almost veins of blue energy, are moving up towards the portal.
Sorry, question.
Yep.
All of the bodies in the cavern that we saw, were they all the same color? Were they
All the same color, all bronze.
Oh shit! I get it now. Those weren't elves.
Nope. But
Oh no!
Oh,
no!
we don't know that.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
So all of you,
We don't know that.
Oh
since you
my
have the highest
God.
passive perception,
That's so bad.
Don't matter, you fucks. Don't
That's
matter.
so bad.
you
That's what I've
hear
been holding on to this whole time. I'm like, you're like, do you know what this is? I'm like, yeah.
you hear off in the distance.
Yes.
Presently, you hear the arcane energies being moved in a small mumble of a language that you don't understand.
Oh, we need to cut this guy's
Also,
head off
Devin,
right
Yep.
now.
Are you sure the energy's blue, or do you mean that it's purple?
Even it's blue. I could be wrong, and we could
You're
wreck on
basing
that.
it off the movie series.
It's blue.
Yeah. No, for us it's purple.
Purple energy.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
I don't understand the context behind that, but that's fine. We'll go with
Yeah.
purple.
I gotta color code that in the GM Bible.
Okay. Thank you. It's
Movie series, you mean the movie?
so it's
Go back to it, go back
purple energy. Apologies.
Yeah.
So the purple energy is moving toward the archway, and amidst all of these mumblings and incantations that you can hear as this energy is building, you hear off in the distance.
Oh, those are wings.
No shit, Sherlock.
And the
Set it
smaller
over our head right now.
2, perhaps 3,
Those are hella-
that's off in the distance, that's moving over the mountain to your right.
I'm gonna poke the nearest guy, which happens to be Dom.
We all know.
Those are.
Hide or what?
We're in the open.
We don't.
We could still try.
We're in the role playing. Okay, for those at home, we're in the role playing equivalent of like, what do we do?
What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
Where's oh my god!
Like running in circles, smacking into each other.
Do I have a spell for this? I don't have a spell.
You also see, Jeff, moving among the jutted rocks is a single blackish, bluish figure that's moving through the shadows of the night, darker than the surrounding landscape, like an actual black, which means it's something rather than a creature moving about, and it has a strange shape of wings coming out of its shoulders, and a trail of pale blue light as an after trail.
I'm gonna.
And you're sure it's blue?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
the energy that's going to the portal is purple. I was incorrect about that, but this I know is blue.
I'm gonna describe it to these.
Literally, the color of the
Chuckleheads.
stones. The color of what you're looking for is actually in that table right inside you, in front of you.
Okay, so. Okay.
Do we go up
Do we go up to the archway?
You can reach out and touch someone, but screw it. I have no fear. I am an orc warrior.
I'm undead. What the fuck am I doing?
Let's go.
Don't know any better.
Yeah, we wouldn't know better. We have no idea what has just happened
No.
or what we might get blamed for.
The as you approach the circle in and of itself, do any of you cross the threshold into the ritual circle, or just stand at the edge?
Threshold to disrupt the magic circle because
I feel like you would
know
warn
it's
us against this.
Okay, Harry Dresden.
Yeah, no. I feel like, wouldn't you tell us not to? Fuck with the
Well,
circle?
I was
You
just
do know
about-
that magical circles and rituals like this usually it could disrupt it, or it could have a nasty feedback depending on how to a nasty feedback depending on how deep the magi is into his casting.
Is there any way I can determine?
Yes, you could. Yep.
Well,
An Arcana
yeah.
roll. Yep.
Better do it before I kick it because that's coming.
It's like in the air slow.
What the fuck? Okay. 9.
Okay. You know that the circle has been closed and complete. That's why you have Trida. So attacking the circle would be a very bad idea. Could actually solidly hurt him. It's getting through because you know that because the circle is closed and the trails of energy are starting to move toward the archway, and you see faint wisps of purple mist at the base of the archway.
Can I determine with that pathetic roll what the chances are of circle being destroyed, backfire versus just spell failure?
Oh, the circle has been closed and completed. It would backfire on him.
Like hardcore.
Here I go again.
Death level or harm level?
Did you tell me not to do this?
Probably very serious harm level. Likely not death level.
So I see him start getting concerned.
Oh,
like,
I'm
ooh,
so tempted to let you do it.
Hey, we said we worried about you.
Doesn't mean I fucking care about you.
God, we're all assholes.
I hold you back.
By the way, Jeff,
Yes.
where's Ass Muffin? He's gone.
What?
He's hiding. You saw him take
I was
off the
gonna say,
moment
I'm
that
not
he
his
heard
keeper, but-
the moment that he heard those.
We should
He
maybe.
took off.
You said there was debris all around here, right? From like.
Yes.
Let's go talk to the bald guy.
How about we go hide for a second?
You still sense him. He's around. He's hiding.
Assman!
I'm gonna use battle
Devin,
style.
I step over the circle. because
What?
What the fuck are you doing?
Doing what all of you should be.
Dude, if you die, you just go back to hell.
But it's painful.
Oh, suck it up.
Can we hear his side?
Yes.
We just hear him.
It's just like
screaming
you
at
should just
nothing.
see like I'm just there with 1 foot over. Is this something I should know?
I'm gonna
Oh,
use
yeah,
War
don't
Stomp.
fucking do that.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
about to
Oh,
step over.
oh.
it now.
What's the DC of Warstomp?
Don't do that.
Considering you said
I wasn't
it's an
until we-
8th level spell.
Yeah, no, it's War Stomp. Yeah, it's 8. The DC is 8 plus your strength level rather than your caster level,
Okay.
plus your proficiency modifier.
So let me
It just
open
happens
that
to
up.
be an 8th level spell in terms of an effect
Okay.
because it's
so
ground shake.
It doesn't have a DC. But Fisher's.
It's the effect of the spell. The DC would be, instead of being a spell casting modifier like your int, it's your strength because you're stomping on the ground as a Tauren with all your weight. So I need 8 plus your strength modifier plus your proficiency. That's the DC.
Okay, so 8 plus spellcasting modifier, which is 3, so that's 11 plus strength, which is 4, so that's 15.
Okay. He needs to make a strength check. Okay. So while the group of you are debating and arguing, your Tauren, actually describe your War Stomp for us. I'm not going to describe it. That's for you to do.
Since I haven't ever played a druid in the game, or haven't played since vanilla and kind of quit early, could you?
Oh, sure. So the Tauren doesn't so much like an orc roar. He just takes in a deep breath, raises one. Yep.
Hey.
18.
Okay, you pass. Yep.
Oh damn it!
We're all fucking launched. Except for you, apparently.
It's not launched, it's knocked prone.
10.
Okay, you two, so knocked over by the suddenness of it. We'll say that you, because you were paying attention to, like, looking around to see where Assmuffin was, you see your Tauren raising his foot, and you're like, oh crap, and brace yourself. You two are thrown as the earth shakes, quakes, splinters with the epicenter of his foot, and all the ground splinters around him, throwing you off your feet with a little bit of like lightning, druidic lightning that follows soon after. The lightning doesn't damage you, but it throws you from your feet,
A lot of things.
including throwing from the feet the caster, and the caster is thrown from his feet and lands on the ground.
That's what I was hoping for.
What does the
You
caster
see-
look like?
Bald man. It's
The
bald
creature stands, or not the
Bald man
creature. Sorry,
touches around his head, like
the mage stands, turns towards you, throwing back his hood, and you see a bald head with the same symbols that were all along the inside of the cave, all around its eyes, and two large spikes, the same
Yep.
golden steel color, driven into each of his eyes, and you can see a flash of one driven into his chest, and his body size is akin to Gareth's. Even though he's a human, he is that tall, he is that strong.
Am I prone?
You are prone, yes.
I am as well.
I would like to get back up.
As the two of you struggle to your feet.
What happens to the ritual circle?
The ritual circle stays, but the energy is starting to fade away from the portal and not become inert, but almost stop moving. It's not trailing toward it anymore. And he looks towards you.
As far as we can tell.
That you don't know. He's glaring at you, even though the spikes are driven into his eyes.
Like he stares at you. Like,
He's-
how do we know that though?
Yeah, but he does.
So now we're just gonna
You
slap some
assholes.
googly eyes on his spikes, and whenever
bet
he
you-
turns his head, rattle, rattle, rattle.
I bet if you pull those out, they'll
He
hurt a lot.
looks at you with not saying a single word, and then, as if he hears it for the first time, and a gust of wind comes over the side mountain, and a very large, not immense, but something that is with a wingspan of about 14, 15 feet on either side, followed by two younger ones, is a black reptilian creature.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh no.
but instead of having golden scales, its skin is black and its scales in the very center are white and the exterior are blue, and it has a smoky trail behind it. That's following through this smoke and blue energy.
Do they look like metal plates that belong to something else?
No.
Oh
No,
fuck! Thank
they
God.
do not, they do not.
Oh God.
Does it look skeletal?
It doesn't look skeletal. It
I
looks like a dragon, but these scales
just yet.
are of a blue energy
It's not
that's
him.
coming from the inside. That's coming from the inside of it. And its wings seem to phase in and out into corporeal space. As with every movement of its wings, they become corporeal again, and as it moves, along with the two other little wormlings. And then as its wings raise up again, they seem to fade from existence.
And
Oh,
is it
I
heading
think I get it.
toward us?
It is. It's actually heading toward the guy in the center of the circle.
Yeah, they probably have a problem with him.
Please be eating him. Please be eating him. Please be eating him.
I think it's gonna give him indigestion.
The
I wouldn't want to eat something being impaled on nails.
Focus.
Yeah.
Okay, I need all of you to make a perception check, please.
Okay.
Could I just use my passive perception?
It's higher?
Oh, actually, yeah, if you want to use your passive perception, that's fine.
Yeah, I should have.
16.
Yep, 16?
Yeah, 13.
14.
11.
So 14? 16?
13.
11.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
just gonna use my passive perception from now on.
What is your AC?
I believe to be 17.
All right. Stats.
Am I about to get one shot? I think.
I don't think we're high enough level for this mob.
So what did you say?
Remember-
What was your AC?
17.
Remember when we asked
17,
Evan if we
okay,
were gonna
all right.
find any dragons?
Yeah.
You just hear it. It's a metal that scrapes out of a scabbard that is less than 3 feet behind you. You hear it just at the last moment as the dagger is aimed for in between your shoulders, moves through the air, and you're able to dodge to the side of it because he hit 17, which means you win. So just this, and you see this shadowy dagger that's in the end that's being held by a scaled humanoid hand. That slashes through the air, and he grabs for you and is trying to pull you away to stab you again.
Cool. Sounds fun.
Everyone, roll initiative.
Oh boy. Is Ass Muffin going on my turn?
Ass Muffin is going on your turn.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
15.
15. Okay.
16 for me.
21.
21. Yeah.
10.
10. Okay. All right. And Okay. All right. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20.
20
Where's...
go 210. 20 go 210.
Thank you, boy.
And they go last. Okay. All right.
There we go.
So you said that you started 20?
16.
16. Okay. All right.
10.
You said 10?
Yeah.
Who is 20?
I'm 21.
21. Okay. All right. You are first. So you see this creature, Sam. If you want to put up the assassin photo, please. You see a creature that is moving on.
We don't actually have a photo.
No, we don't actually have the imagery. We might, but the stream does. It is a scaled humanoid, but instead of actually right where his waist would be, it's actually a reptilian reptilian body with 4 clawed feet, and has horns coming out the back.
You keep saying, "Oh no."
Yeah, and like
what has it ever been good for us this entire
Limestone,
adventure?
Yeah.
Apart from that time we won.
And with 2 vicious-looking, shadowy daggers on it in either of its hands, is the creature that you see, and its insides also are glowing with that same blue and white energy.
Before I act,
Yep.
I say to my companions, "Are we killing the caster?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at this point we would attempt to kill pretty much everything that isn't
If
us.
the dragon doesn't finish him first.
By magical darkness,
Yep.
and he is going to rush in and make a multi-attack
Okay.
with its bite and its fork.
Okay. Go ahead. And who's next? 10,
15.
16. You are next.
Okay.
First strike is a 14.
14.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now roll again.
Second
Bring on
strike
the
is an 8.
Okay, all right. So you to ass muffin shoots into the darkness after it's been cast, and you feel a bit of shock on the demons through the telepathy of the demon as you hear its tail whipping through the air, not actually making any kind of contact, and then as it is thrown back out of the darkness, and it sort of comes to a stop, hovering in midair, and without looking at you. But he's talking to you. It's like, it sees me.
Shit!
How now, brown cow?
Go.
Sorry,
I'm going to throw Earthbind.
Why are you
on,
mocking me?
the
We're on
guy
the same
that's
team.
attacking,
that was out of character.
Him?
I wasn't even
Yep, go ahead.
And I don't have to roll for this one, but
Nope.
there is a strength save. I think it's against a spell save of DC.
Yep, it's against your 13. Okay. All right. Ooh. He actually does. So the daggers are about to actually strike once again at your character, but his feet, all 4 of them, clawed feet, get caught in the earth, and he gets stuck where he is trying to slash at you.
Nice save.
All right. And how long does that last again?
This one lasts up to a minute.
Okay.
And concentration.
Concentration. Okay. All right. So he is unfortunately can't get within range of you because you moved out of range. So his daggers slice through the air, and they have a shadowy bluish energy to them as they're moving between. But doesn't actually connect. And
Cool. I don't like that.
Yep.
I don't like that at all.
Where did my pencil go? There. Nope.
all right. Next is go.
Okay.
So, one of our enemies is in darkness that I
To
can't
mark off
see
my
through.
spell
Yep.
slots.
One of our enemies is completely visible, and I can't kill a dragon yet. So,
Attitude.
well, man's got no limitations. So I'm going to kill this new fella.
Okay. All right.
I draw my sword and say my code word. Okay. And I go for it.
All right. Go ahead.
I ain't afraid of no go. Fuck me, 12.
No kidding, huh?
Against the one that's attacking him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So even with its feet, still he managed.
advantage because I've caught him off guard.
I'll give you advantage because he's bound. That's not. I shouldn't, but I will because I'm a nice guy.
I rolled 5 again.
Okay, there you go. Well, gave you the best opportunity you had. So you swing the flaming sword, and he phases out of reality and back in as your sword, the licking flame passes by his body, and he reforms his body again. Smiles at you with his daggers menacingly in front of you.
Look, you didn't grow a full sword.
Roson's enemies will fall here.
None of those words I understood.
You
Okay.
understand here or falls?
Oh, okay, fine. That's fine. I don't know who that is.
Context
My
clue.
mechanical pencil is missing.
Oh, we got like a bunch right in front of there.
Now that it is their turn, the two smaller whelpish creatures soar towards the group of you, but the larger dragon lands outside the circle and looks down at the caster.
There's a breath weapon incoming for sure.
Which caster? Let's go.
The caster that's in the middle of the circle.
In the darkness.
In the darkness, yes. And the bluish energy that comes from the dragon's eyes looks down menacingly on the area of the darkness where it is. Magi and infidel of the time stream, come with us, and you will not be harmed. Resist, and we will wipe every last train of existence from this plane and every other plane. Do you understand?
So I'm gonna throw this out there. I don't believe him that we're gonna walk away from this one.
We're not with them.
Guys, the appropriate term to use in this situation is fuck it.
The creature's head turns towards you. No, but you are anomalies here.
I am not normal.
And anomalies must be wiped clean.
Speak to the dragon.
Yes, but the wormling's going to attack you first.
That's cool. He doesn't know what anomaly means.
Do you want us to be afraid of your dialogue? You're going to have to break it down.
So I need each of the whelps are send out a cascading breath of shadowy bluish energy toward each of you in a line. So I need each of you to make a DC 15 dexterity save, please.
Oh, good, no.
Okay. Yeah, I made it.
Holy shit, I made it.
Nice.
Oh, just short.
Ah, well, he's undead.
Yeah, he's fine.
He'll buff out.
23.
Hey, every one of you who succeeded, take 11 force damage, please.
Son of a damn it.
You take 18.
Okay.
We are not built to survive those.
We're not built to take on a dragon? Who the fuck is around here? Fucking Warcraft. How much dragon hunting do you do in that game?
No.
Quite a bit sometimes, depends on the
Depends
situation.
on the color.
Depends on the color, it does. Yep. It does depend on the color. All right, next it goes back up to you. Go.
Okay, so around me there are two wormlings.
Around you, there are two wormlings who have cast breath on you. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Jordan. Yes, your character.
Cool. I was just, I'm here too. It's fine.
You are, yeah.
Show him why it was wrong for him to forget you.
I'm going to move away from the thing that's been trying to stab me. I'm going to shoot an arrow at it.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to miss.
Well, he is pretty bound, so
Okay,
gain
fine,
advantage.
we'll go for 15.
Does a 15 hit him?
Actually, it does
Oh,
because he's bound.
Cool. So I'm going to just get in here.
Yep.
He's big. He's bad. He's kind of an ass.
10 damage.
Damage, nice. Okay. So it punches your arrow punches into the soft underbelly of this creature because again it has an underbelly similar to these reptilian creatures.
Being smug at Mike for shifting out, and he's like, ha ha!
As he shifts back in, he takes the arrow and takes the arrow in the chest, and he starts to make a strength save. It was DC 13, you said? 13?
Yes.
Okay, all right. This time, so he growls in anger with a small hiss as his strange reptilian legs, bound in muscles, pull free of the earth and start ripping free of the mounds that are keeping them encased. But that is his that is his action.
Nuts to you, you doof.
Yep,
You're
that is
attacking us.
okay. Your turn. Yep.
Well, let's see here. I'm not high enough level to become a bear, but I do have lots and lots and lots of spells.
Okay.
To let me quickly pick a neat one.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, any guy can become a bear if he believes in himself.
Oh boy.
Why don't you take your stick to it? Stick was pretty good.
Actually, my stick is pretty good. I don't even need to cast Shillelagh because my strength is higher than my spellcasting modifier.
Go kick his ass!
I'm gonna two-hand this guy in the face.
Two-hand the assassin in the face.
Just
Okay.
Best druid ever.
clonk.
All right, go.
Rolling to attack.
Yep.
This thing being
It
solved.
is you and what was the name of the druid from fucking Warcraft 3? Like the wood elf, the night elf.
+6.
Malfurion? It's you and Malfurion, man.
17 to hit.
That does it.
Sweet.
Actually, have you gone?
He's after me.
He's after you, right? Okay, yeah, you were
Who's
20.
your
Yeah.
last in the initiative?
I'm first.
I'm first. I got
I'm
21.
next. I'm 16.
Yes. So
I'm after you.
you'll
I'm
go
sorry.
you'll go after him. Go first, Dave.
I'm so sorry.
That was my mistake.
I got initiative happy.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be a professional.
I try.
Poop.
Dar.
I
dice
rolled
roll.
a
Going before me,
1
asshole.
plus. It's a total of 5.
Okay, so you said that as he's ripping free, you crack him across the face and shit, and a slight scale comes off, and you see trailing blue energy from underneath the scale. It's almost like he has no physical form. It's just a form that he's willing into existence. Go.
So for my, so I'm going to say, ass muffin, wormling, and then for my action, I'm going to use demon refuge.
Okay. Yep.
So I disappear before you guys.
Cool.
I disappear into the twisting nether, and I now use 2 actions to cast spells that target only me, and then I return at the end of my turn.
Yes. You return immediately.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
I'm
then your turn.
using Armor of Agathis,
Okay.
which gives me 5 temporary hit points. And I'm going to use
Pardon to the stream for coughing
Shadow
so much.
Blade. So I conjure a Shadow Blade.
You conjure a shadow blade. So-
Dagger.
Yeah. So in a space of that barely passes for the group of you, you see him disappear and reappear a moment later, but thicker, stronger armor with a blade summoned.
And Assmuffin is going to make a multi-attack against the Wormlings.
Do it.
So this is going to be the bite. That's going to be the fork. Bite misses. Fork misses. Oh wait, no, I don't know the DC. The AC. So bite is an 8. Fork is a 10.
Bite is an 8. Fork is a 10.
Yeah.
2 hit.
Yeah.
Okay. In total.
Yep.
Okay. Your fork hits. Your fork hits
The fork
because
hits?
it had to hold still for its breath attack.
Okay, so 1d6 piercing damage.
Yep.
3.
Okay. All right. The strange wormling shrugs back the attack. And that's your turn.
Yep.
Okay. All right. The assassin in turn will go and we'll try and attack you again. 1. That is a 19.
That'll hit.
Okay. And a 17.
That is my armor class.
So no. All right.
Apparently no.
All right, so it strikes with both of its shadowy short swords, and you take 11 damage, please.
Sorry,
Yep.
as a warlock, I cast my Armor of Agathist at 2nd level, so it's 10 temporary hit points.
10 temporary hit points. Yeah. Go.
All right, I have a plan. I'm going to swing my sword at him again. Shut up, this is gonna be ready.
But this time,
However,
harder.
Swing the
when
sword
he
more.
when he phases through around it, I'll stop moving it, so he'll eventually come around it.
It's like, stop. Whoa.
So like it'll just be like, I face back. Oh, why is it here?
Why is it here?
Whoa.
Do I get advantage for that?
I'll give you a +2 modifier for
I'll
that.
take that one.
I've seen that movie.
Oh no, never mind.
Doesn't need it.
Doesn't need it.
Nice, well done.
Not
Okay.
20.
Yeah, I've seen
So
that
that
movie.
doubles all
That's
my
gross.
dice. Period, right?
Yes, yeah.
I need 86.
Ah.
But you only add your strength modifier once.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's a little disappointing.
more.
But
He
yeah,
has
I
a
need 2
fiery
more.
longsword that does an extra 2d6.
or do you want a matching set of 8?
Could you just give me the 2?
Why?
That's fun. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That's fun.
Okay, hang on. 12, 24, 9. So 24 plus 9 is 33. Plus another 2 is 35.
Okay. As
It
the
worked.
That's fun.
And that's with your strength. That's everything total.
Yeah. Oh no, with the strength. Oh, I am so sorry.
Fine.
And a +5.
So what's your total?
40 flat.
Yeah.
40 flat.
Do I
okay.
have my proficiency to the damage?
No,
Oh,
you do not.
Well, that would have been another 2.
But do you want to use your savage strikes? No, you critted, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Why would I want to?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All it will do is just make me roll the damage again, and
Yeah.
that was like an hour already. So
That's
let's just
fair
go.
enough. So this time, instead of you holding it there, you learn his pattern. So you feint a little bit, make it to make him phase as he's in the midst of attacking your ally. And when he reconstitutes himself, you strike at him. Describe the death of the assassin for us, please.
So yeah. So as he phases back in, I insert my blade.
Yep.
It just looks down as it forms around his body, and then I just lift it up.
Yep.
And I just go.
As he hangs there on the edge of your blade.
Oh yeah, he's just up in the air. I'm just going.
On your as you
Until he
shake him on the
slides down.
third shake, as it is about to touch your crossbar, it disintegrates into a mixture of blue and black shadow.
No! I need to eat him.
Quick,
And I start
breathe them in.
hastily grabbing flecks of him and just
It's
going.
like jumping at the energy like a kid trying to eat a snowflake.
And all of it, as the group of you are looking at this situation, you hear a crack and a break, and as only metal, whenever it snaps and breaks, can crack like that. And you hear a crack, and look back, and up in the air, someone who has the magi has jumped up in the air to be level with the dragon in his arch of his jump, and it's punched this creature. You see the second punch as its scales start breaking apart.
Man, I'm glad we had that guy.
Oh no, it's Doomfist.
The dragon in turn grabs the magi and slams him onto the ground, driving him into the ground.
We all agree to stay out of this.
I don't think we should wait and see how this plays out.
Yeah.
I want popcorn. I should write a haiku about this.
We still have shit to deal with.
Yeah,
Produce flame. Does anyone have any maize?
Maze.
The strange ethereal dragon looks down, cocks its reptilian head at the magi. Eurozond will take that as a no. And you hear a sickening crunch of both metal and bone as he is crushed beneath the dragon's claw.
Ooh, I wanted to loot that.
We still might. Don't draw attention to us.
The dragon looks at the group of you.
One of us just goes, Fluffy. It counts if I lick it.
Whose turn is it?
The old gods brought you here for a reason. As he looks back at the portal that, by the way, the energy has continued to trail up and is now touching the edges of the archway. Far be it for me. As he lifts the broken figure up in his clawed hand to claim to understand their ways. Anomalies. When he throws the body at your feet.
I'm not a homily.
In gratitude for trying to stop this, I will grant you this gift. You have far worse problems now, I think.
Can we elaborate?
Just all of us have our hands up.
Questions?
Puffs out blue smoke. Goes. Ask what you ask.
Well, can you
Who
elaborate?
are you? Please.
I was named Aeonus. Aeonus of the infinite dragonflight. His wings beat against the ground as he is brought up into the air. Those who are at the beginning and end, and those who will be there at the hour of twilight, when the old gods rise.
Can you explain about the worst problem part?
This one was an anomaly, but your term, I believe, as the energy starts to coalesce into the middle of the portal, you humans use the term
We're not human.
No,
not one of us.
not a one.
mortals.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I mean,
mortals.
Got you there.
Yep. I believe you mortals use the term harbinger as the energy.
What does that word mean?
Purple energies coalesce into the center of the portal and burst open. And instead of a green portal that you heard of from your histories which your people went through, it's a purple portal.
I don't know what that means.
I do, but-
I don't
And
know the difference.
strange figures, all robed in the same accoutrement as the individual who's on the ground, robed in black, all with bald heads and spikes
He
in
did
different
it.
areas of the body, start to step out of the portal.
Okay.
I suggest you
Oh, but I used 2 spells.
run. And the dragon lifts itself on its wings and soars into the air as figure after figure starts stepping out of the dark portal.
How
Should we
many?
run?
It's purple
We
energy.
should go.
We should go.
Dozens.
Is there more than 7?
Dozens.
Okay, we should go.
I'm going to cast Fog Cloud
So you can poof.
and then run.
Yep.
So we're standing there really indecisive. We hear Dave trailing off into the distance. Like, oh
It's like-
shit!
There you go.
At first, Dave runs back. This is going, and then just one by one, I'm like, "But is it dishonorable? Come on, fine."
Fine.
What's Ass Muffin doing?
Said to Ass Muffin is said to Ass Muffin because of its supernatural energy is gripping the body, the anomaly in its tail, and moving with you as you're trailing behind you.
Like it's got the dead
Like
body?
it's got the dead body and
Awesome.
trailing with you.
I didn't even ask you to do that. Great.
Yes, but I
Intuition.
like living, and I have a feeling we'll need him. Now move.
You know, good taking the initiative there. You're in the line for a promotion.
And expertise like now move. And you're like,
Don't tell me what to do.
And with that, with yet another world invading yet another world, because it's what we do here at D20 Live, we will end the November stream. And thank you to my players. Thank you to our patrons, our fans. And next month is December. What is?
It's Pendragon.
Pendragon. Yes.
Going back.
Going back to Pendragon. Michael will be back in the chair next month. And we'll see you. We have a craft stream coming up next week or next
Week after next.
Week after next.
Yeah,
Yep.
next week should be the next Ravenloft episode should be going up.
Right,
Which would be
yep.
episode 4.
Yep.
For
Episode
public.
4. Yep.
Just quickly, I don't think any of us shouted for the Horde altogether.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
It
So
was really
we'll end
more
with
for
that.
us.
Yeah.
We'll end
For
with
our
that.
fun.
So 3, 2, 1.
For the Horde!
Thanks, everyone.